So those are cutoff points to make sure that they can't, the cars can't get in.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
So this is Old Main over there. We'll catch this walk over there. We'll start over there. He's gonna pick us up. Oh.
We don't. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do abide by traffic laws normally, but now I'm doing the walking and talking thing. So give the ghost tour. All right.
Robbie says hi.
Robbie says hi. Hi, Robbie. Aren't you in my tour?
Mr. Demarest.
What? Oh, Rob Demarest.
Yes.
Rob, I'm ghost hunting. Where are you? All right. So, this is Old Main. Oh, look. First, this is the main campus. This is when Penn State was a college. Or not State University, it was Penn State College. And this is where, you know, people claim they see Old Coley. Aside from that, it's just a nice old spooky building. You know. What?
The front, the best part.
No, you could do that if you guys want. Well, let's go do the meat and potatoes.
Rob asked where are the ghosts.
What?
Rob's asking where are the ghosts.
I don't know.
We're gonna go find them.
But we need to find them because I got like 5 minutes before I get to that building, and they're expecting. All right, so now we're coming up on Schwab. By the way, hi everyone. And I promised you guys a ghost tour, so you guys are getting a piece of the action with everybody. All right. All right, so this is Schwab. Schwab Auditorium, and like most universities, hey Gracie, pick up the pace. Actually, she's heard me talk. Oh, wait till that's done. Oh, it's done. Okay. Like most universities that have a theater on campus, there's always talks of ghost lore and ghost stories. However, this was actually our first investigation, Schwab Auditorium. We investigated on February 2002. We brought in 16 investigators. I was a sophomore in college. It was our first big thing that we did. We rented the whole place out. The newspaper came with us. You know, they were kind of tickled by the whole thing. But essentially, people have had experiences of seeing a gentleman like in Civil War era clothing. The staff claims that they've had experiences in there all the time. They're very like, oh yeah, sure, we have it. Can't really tell, you know, if they're being genuine or not. But while we were in there, a woman claimed that while she's in the bathroom, the lights turned off and she got that feeling, and she was touched. And
y'all laughed and that shit happened to you, and you were like, what the fuck?
yep. But and then what's the other thing? This happened to me while I was up in the attic, so above the stage, in the furnace area. There was like an old rusty chair, like a metal chair, and people were claiming quietly, like, oh, that's where the real activity is. So I was like, all right, I'll go in there and check it out. So I'm standing back behind this big, I don't know what it is, boiler thing. I don't know. It's just, and all of a sudden, I just turn around and all of a sudden I hear, I'm just like, and the whole thing just had moved. Now, I don't know. That's just what I believe I experienced. You know, so we were trying really hard to be investigators. So like we whipped out baby powder, you know, because we were very low budget back then. We put up baby powder, we had little cameras, and we tried to see if we can get to move again. It did not. We've investigated here a couple other times since, not really a whole lot. The one that I enjoy the most is right over here.
Not this, oh, shit.
Oh, there's my camera woman. All right, making sure.
Oh. I'm not the only one.
We used to do these every year for Halloween for the students. It was so much fun.
This is pretty fun.
It's what?
This is fun.
Yes, it is. How's everyone doing, by the way?
Awesome.
Good? All right. Okay, so this is old Botany. It's actually the oldest building on campus. So there's this legend. Penn State students still claim that this legend. I hear it all the time. As you see across from Schwab, there's an actual burial site. It's for President Atherton. He's the only person buried on campus. Students loved him so much that they let him be put at rest on campus. Legend has it that Mrs. Atherton haunts old Botany up in the attic, right up there, and that people have seen her through the window staring down, and she keeps an eye on her husband because, I don't know, thinks she's fucking around or something, I don't know. But that's the legend. Now here's the thing, they also go, but there's no entrance into the attic. That's the scary, like, oh, you know, and that's like the big, like, mystery. Why is there no entry point into the attic even though there are windows? But if you actually just walk in there and ask somebody, there's an attic entrance. You know, so, and in fact, I went up there. They claim that Mrs. Atherton's bones are buried up in the attic, and that's why they sealed it off. Despite us clarifying on this, I'll do this so it's spookier. Despite that, the legend still continues. However, yep.
I was going to say, you can also mention the fact that they just started using this building again. Like, for a while, this whole thing was, like, dark until, like, recently this year. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you look at it, look inside, and they're just reactivating this building. That
Might have just done renovations.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing that's really interesting. So as we were actually, you know, we were doing Schwab Auditorium, you know, because that's what was haunted and everything else, we started hearing people talk about this building. And I'm like, oh, come on, you know, the legend of Mrs. Atherton. They're like, well, we don't know what it is, but there's something going on there. So this used to be origininally a building for a Japanese department has used it before. OPP has used it before. I don't know what it is now, but it's dead.
Just about.
Oh, might have to cut. Sorry, guys. I didn't charge my phone.
Yeah, we're running out of power.
But oh, she has pocket juice.
Well, we got pocket juice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Perfect.
Never mind.
We got something here.
But we actually spoke to a woman. I mean, literally. I mean, I actually had a conversation with her. That she told me a story that was pretty intense. She would come in the morning and get this keypad locked, and she was across the hall, and she'd come in the mornings, like around like 6, 7 a.m., and she heard the door open, and she heard footsteps upstairs, and she's thinking someone came in early. But then she hears the footsteps come down the stairs and go running down, and so she gets freaked out when she realizes no one's in the building, and banging starts happening on the walls. And then it comes all the way across to and then right across from her desk was a doorway into the other room. And she was just frozen, and she's looking at the door. Door has not been unlocked electronically, and as she's looking at it, all of a sudden, the door just like shook. And so she called the on-campus police, thinking that there was an intruder or something. They came, we verified this, that she actually did call. She was frightened. She didn't think it was a ghost. She thought that there was an intruder, but when they came, they found that not only was there no one else in the building, but no one had used their key card access to get into the building except for her. Which, of course, is where we came in. And they were like, you know, and they were kind of tickled by what we were doing. They said, well, you know, maybe you can let us know what's happening. So we started doing investigations here every October for UNIVCon, which was this conference we had. Lou Gentili, John Zaffis, Jason Hawes, Grant Wilson from Ghost Hunters, like, Chad Kalick, myself, Lorraine Warren, we all investigated this building. Now, the first time we did this, we had Lou Gentili, who has passed away. He was a lay demonologist. They found that whatever it was in the basement. When we went in there, we used what was something called Frank's Box. You guys ever heard of it?
Yep.
Okay, Frank's Box is kind of like one of the first big controversial pieces of paranormal tech of the 21st century. A man named Frank Sumption developed this piece of machinery very similar to like the legend of Thomas Edison's ghost box. You know, the telephone to the dead, I mean. And anyways, he took different frequencies from the radio and tweaked them a little bit to where it would pull signals based on some other conscious force trying to communicate. So it used radio frequencies to try to communicate, pull like from, you know, voices from the radio, whatever it was. Well, when we went in there, I mean, he turned that thing on and he goes, listen, you know, this technology is delicate. We will communicate with something. He goes, do not ask any offensive questions. So we're down there in this basement, and this thing is answering questions, and it's creepy, the voice, you know. It was pretty tame until someone asked, "Were you ever married?" And all of a sudden, it was, "Fuck you! Get out of here, you kid!" I mean, like saying things very specific to this college student. And Luke goes, "All right, we have to everyone go." He goes, "I told you not to ask any insensitive questions." And we're like, "How's that an insensitive, or a sensitive question?" I guess it just emotionally riled this entity up. The staff have regularly had experiences, and last when I spoke to them in 2014 when I came by, when I was thinking about re-enrolling in college and I just stopped by, they were like, "Oh yeah, we still have experiences here." Every year we'd come in there, and it was always located in the basement, whatever it was. We don't know, there's no lore, no one was murdered in there. We've captured an insane amount of paranormal activity in here. Lorraine has channeled in there, and I believe Lorraine, and she was like, "There's something dark here." And of course, we don't want to scare the students, of course, but like, we're also going, okay, what's going on here? And like, when we would do UNIFCON, we would investigate that and everything else, but like, there was just this unanimous draw to this building. We actually don't know what or why this seems to be a hotspot of experiences, if you want to call it that. The library, which I'll get to in a second, it's understandable why, in theory, something may be in there. But this one, we don't really have any explanation for. We don't know if it's just, something just drawn there. Obviously, we stopped investigating after things we were like, well, every time we went in there every year, it was just, we were always getting stuff. EVPs, we posted those online. We've used Frank's box before. Chip Coffee came in here, and he was just like, holy hell, whatever was in here. But every time, they felt like whatever was in here was almost like, I won't say schizophrenic, but like, it didn't seem to have just one personality, which is why, Lorraine possibly thought something was a bit darker there. And it's also possible with all the energy that a campus has, sometimes it can take on one focal point or like a thought form and can kind of just lay dormant until activated, which is a theory that we kind of have. But the attic, there is an attic. If there's any Penn State students watching this, there is an attic and you can go in there. What?
So they keep looking up there if someone's looking out.
Yeah, but they claim they see someone looking out the windows. Let them have their legend. But that said, there's something really weird about this building. So, spooky. All right. Now we're gonna go to the library.
Ooh, we going in the stacks?
Yeah, we're going to stacks. We'll have to end it here, guys, because I don't have reception in there.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give you guys a little quick taste of it. Sorry again for the DC. Hope maybe I'll try it again. Much love to you guys.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi.